Hello. For those that don't know me, I'm Ruben Pallister.
And I'm going to tell you about Niall Kennedy.
I remember the first time I met him. He was only a kid.
Ruben's moved into your room.
What? No way. He's a psycho.
Are our mums, does it bother you or something?
Is that your boyfriend? Are these guys bothering you?
Why do you care? We're family now. Ruben, he's the best and the worst thing all at once.
That was a look at Half Man, series streaming now on HBO Max. Starring, written and produced by Emmy Award-winning winner Richard Gadd, the series follows two estranged men who have long considered themselves like brothers. It traces the highs and lows of that bond over the course of decades, spotlighting the complexities of male relationships and the dangers of repression. Richard joins us now. He's currently nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie for his role in this very series. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on the nomination and everything else. For those who are just coming into the show now, where does it come from? What's the origin of this pretty complex tale?
Yeah, well, I actually came up with the idea before Baby Reindeer came out, and it was must have been about 2019. I think there was a lot of discussion going around in society right then about male repression, male violence. And it wasn't so much that I set out to do a show like that, or that's a topic that I want to get into. It just set this idea that you take two broken men in their adult life and you flash back to the childhood, all the things, all the prejudices that they soak up, all the kind of learned behavior that's enforced upon them by society, and you see how that goes on to corrupt them in later life. So it just kind of sparked a creative idea. And I remember I was on the tube and I thought, okay, you take two men, they're at a wedding, it's a bit odd, they're having an odd conversation, and then you flash back to them when they're young and how they meet. And that was all I needed to really get set on the train of sort of the creative process. And I remember writing in my notes on the tube, and I sort of couldn't stop. So that's how it was. I mean,
obviously the relationship between these two men is at the heart of the show. So talk to us about, Jamie Bell plays the other brother. Yeah. Talk to us about that dynamic. How did you guys work together? Why was he the right choice?
Well, it's funny because we talk a lot about dream casting, and it's not so much that we are going to go out and chase. So every time I've certainly done a project, I sat with a casting director and say, well, who's your ideal casting for? It's not like we're going to go out and chase a famous person. It's just it helps them position who you want for a role. And I remember saying, yeah, someone like Jamie Bell for Niall. And I went, oh, that's interesting. And I sort of couldn't shake it. I find him such an interesting actor. I think he's very mercurial in the work that he does. And because I couldn't shake it, I thought, well, I have to listen to that. And I sent him the script. I flew out to LA to meet him. And I suppose the rest is history. But I just thought he'd bring all the kind of nuance and pain and trickery that also Niall has. And he has such vulnerability, but the way he exhibits pain in his performances, I just thought he was perfect for the role.
So, Richard, let's take a look at a scene from the series where you're locked in a tense back and forth with Niall, played, as we said, by Jamie Bell.
Benji. He took the years from me.
No, Ruben, you can't go there. You've been learning to let go of your anger, have you not?
Yeah, but now it's bad.
No. Process it like they taught you. This is just grief, and you're shouldering it onto the nearest emotion that you...
Don't you psychoanalyze me, pop. You don't know a damn thing about my emotions.
Well, I do a bit. I mean, my dad died too, remember?
At least you got the chance to say goodbye. Imagine not being there for him on his deathbed because some it from you.
Well, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, exactly. So you think about that before you start talking about my damn emotions. Then you tell that Ben, wherever he is, that when I get out here, I'm gonna find him. And I'm gonna finish what I should have done the first time around.
I'm not gonna do that, Ruben.
Doing it, you anything I have to say. Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait to see it. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Ruben Pallister and also about the impact of repression on male relationships.
Yeah, well, Ruben's, he's been through a lot of trauma in his youth, and I suppose a lot of it is about expression. I've always, people say Half Man is the show about like toxic masculinity or whatever, but it's a show, in my opinion, about the difficulty to communicate love sometimes between men. And I think a lot of the show, how different it would have been had they had the ability to communicate what they'd been through as people, what they were struggling with, and how they could articulate their love for one another. And Ruben, he's been through devastating things in his youth, but he exhibits it with this alpha male quality where he goes around life and he doesn't take anything from anyone. He positions himself at the top of the social hierarchy wherever he goes. If somebody crosses him even a bit, he turns on them. And it's a protective measure. And we find out in the series where that comes from. But really, he's somebody running from immense pain through hyperaggression and hypervolatile behavior, which I think is very common in this society.
Surely.
So, Richard, we have just about a minute left.
Yeah.
It's set in Glasgow. Talk to us about how the city itself is such a character.
Yeah, I mean, Glasgow's gone through such a change down the years. When I grew up, I grew up in a tiny town in Fife in Scotland, and Glasgow was always like a scary city for me growing up. It had a history of sort of gang violence and football rivalry, and it's gone from that to an LGBTQ capital of the world, a vibrant city, a city of culture. And in a way, I thought it's a perfect place to set because this show, because the city is evolving faster than the characters are. You've got these two repressed men, and the city around them is becoming more progressive than they are. And I thought for that, it added such an important context and back layer to the story.
All right, well, all episodes of the series Half Man are streaming right now on HBO Max. Emmy award-winning actor, writer, and producer Richard Gadd, thank you so much, and good luck at the Emmys next month. We really appreciate you being here today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.